Hey, I'm Jon Thelen. Today I'm Fish Ed. I'm up on Devil's Lake. I'm with Jason Feldner, and we got kind of a tough situation today. It's a cold front like you've never seen in June. I mean, we woke up this morning to 40, low 40s. Right in that neighborhood yesterday, it was in the 80s. I mean, talk about a major change. It's going to be a little bit tougher fishing today, but we're going to show you exactly how to figure out how to catch them in a situation like this. Stay right where you're at. It's going to be a good one. There's one. Look at that.
Hook up.
As soon as I got in there, a little bit tighter. Yeah.
And on the edge of those rocks.
Yep, they're just on that edge, but they're not up in there where they were yesterday. Yesterday, these fish are right up in those rocks, and today, they've slid out a bit.
That's a good one, huh?
Yeah, this is a good one, and then it gets a little bit tough. So if you look at this northwest wind we're fighting, pretty hard to slow the boat down a whole lot.
No.
Yeah, it feels like a pretty good pike. It's got us turned a little bit over that way. One of the things, oh yeah, look at that. One of the things you do when you get in this situation, when you got that wind blowing, is just take the boat out a little bit toward that deeper water. You can always come back in. It's not worth losing control. There we go. That's a great way to start right there. We're out doing some pike fishing today, and I'll tell you what, this is one of those deals where it is just a tough situation. Overnight last night, temperatures dropped somewhere in the neighborhood of about 40 degrees. It was 80 degrees yesterday. We woke up this morning to low 40s, and it's barely creeped. I don't even think we're into the 50s yet. Let's throw him in the live well. Let's go ahead and keep a couple to eat tonight. But I don't think we've even touched 50 now. The wind's blowing hard out of the northwest. You can just feel that everything's going to be a little bit tougher today. I mean, this is a good old-fashioned Midwestern cold front, and we're out here on Devil's Lake, and this place is known for great pike fishing, but let me tell you something, even a place like this can get really tough in a cold front, can't it, Jason?
Oh, it's just horrible. You get that pressure drops, get the big cold front comes in, the water temperature drops 6-7 degrees. They just get a little lethargic, and you just got to work at it, slow everything down, and be persistent, and you'll get them.
Well, there's a few other things we'll add into that as the day goes along. We'll explain to you exactly how to do this, because there's no use staying home. If you've made a trip like we've made out here, I'm planning on being here. I'm going to fish today. There's no way I'm going to sit in a hotel or in a cabin. And you can catch fish today when you make a few of the adjustments we're going to show you today. Let's get this thing back in the water here and find us another one. Get us back in that strike zone here too. Just to give you an idea of what it's like out here today. We're running the electric trolling motor, and we're going downwind. I'm on number 3 on my trolling motor right now, and we're going 2.25 miles an hour. I mean, it's just pushing us, and you don't see it in the waves because we deliberately tried to pick an area where we didn't have a lot of waves to deal with. You get out around this point right now, and you go out there, and there's 3 to 4 footers. I mean, it is ripping. And this is just one of those times that it just makes fishing tough for 2 reasons. One, I can't go where we want to go all the time, okay? Number 2, it's a northwest wind, and it's just a cold front, and it just slows these fish down. It totally changes their feeding pattern. It changes their attitude. It changes everything. And, you know, we're going to pick through them here today, but it's one of those deals where you really got to pay attention to every single detail. And one of the things we're trying to do here is now I've got the boat slowed down. I'm trying to go below 2 miles an hour if I can. I'm doing everything in my power to do that, because it just seemed like on that last fish we caught, it was right after I slowed down a little bit. Yep. We're downsizing lures. We're doing a lot of different things here to try to make these fish bite in the cold front. Even pike will get picky on you.
Good there, John.
Ooh, look at that. There he is. Did you see how that fish bit?
Yeah.
That
just
fish
kind of rode along with it.
Yep. And you know, I did something just a second ago that we talked about a little bit. I loosened my drag up a little, and I turned that clicker on the reel, and I did that very deliberately because a couple of fish that we've had get off, I just feel like they're not coming up and slashing at it, eating the whole thing. And what that allowed to happen there is, as he just kind of drug at it, he wasn't having it snapped away from him right away. I'm pretty close here, Jason. I don't got a lot of line out. Oh yeah. See if we can finish this off. That's a better fish too, isn't it? A little bit. Oh, they're all fun. Pike are just fun. Look at that.
See, that one ate it. He's on the front hook that time. You triggered that fish to bite, John.
I'll tell you what, this is some fun fishing. If you get out and pike fish, and then pike fish the way we're fishing, you can still catch fish in these cold front situations. But I want to show you the lure we're using. Yeah, that's a better fish too, isn't it? Let me show you the lure we're using, and let me explain to you a little bit about why we've chosen to use the lures we're using today. A lot of times with pike, you would see me start with a bigger lure. I'd want to fish something bigger that's really going to trigger them. A lot of times we think a lure is the size of that wally demon that I'm using today. We think a lure is that size when we think of walleyes. But in a cold front situation like this is the perfect size lure for a pike, and there's a couple reasons for it. Number one, it's smaller, but number two, it's got a little bit tighter wobble because it's smaller. So all we're trying to do today is go along here and grab the attention of some fish that are barely moving. It's got to look really, really easy for them. If I were running that bigger lure, banging around more, making more noise, that'll actually, in a lot of situations, especially a cold front, that'll turn them off. But today, these fish are triggering on that smaller lure, little less action, little less noise. And then, you know, color comes into play a little bit too. And that color right there, that's a dynamite color anywhere you go. But you got a few favorites out here too,
yeah,
don't
you know,
Jason?
I get a dark day like this. I like to use like a fire tiger, what we have on this rod, or a natural color like a perch or a crayfish color. But if the sun comes out, I go to my metallics. They say you get a lot more flash because you got that sunlight penetrating down through the water, and you get a lot more flash, and it catches their eye, and they key on the flashes of the metallic. I love the purples and the blues when the sun is out. Right here, John.
Got him?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Boy, that fish looked like he grabbed it and swam with it or something.
No, it's not like the normal pike where they just terrorize it. You know, they just kind of come up and they just grab it onto it and just lay them there with it.
You know, usually when you pull crankbaits for pike, you're worried about a pike taking a rod out of a rod holder.
Yeah, normally you got to loosen your drag up.
Yep. This is just a
He's
typical
here,
cold front though. Okay. You get to him here quick. I was just getting my line back out there.
Getting bigger now.
Yeah, that's a good fish, isn't it? Boy, a pike, you know, one thing about a pike, when you're trolling, they fight all the way to the boat. You know, a lot of times a walleye may not fight all the way to the boat, but I'll tell you what, a pike, and then you get a better one like that. This is just what Jason was talking about earlier. Look at that, we got a better fish there. And it's just as the day's wearing on. I mean, that wind's still ripping, the cold front's still here, but the fish are getting a little bit better, and you know what? That fish is still not aggressive. I mean, you look at a fish like that, you would think he would just hammer it, but he didn't. He just came up and kind of sucked on it, and he got himself hooked again on that back hook, huh?
Yep, back hook again if I can get him out.
But I'll tell you what, you can go out though in a cold front like this and you can still make them bite. Just alter some of those things you're doing. Slow down a little bit, use that little bit smaller size lure, do a few things different. Fish like that, they'll still bite even in a cold front.